Hi, I'm Lee Crume, a licensed clinical social worker and practicing therapist here in Los Angeles, California. This is Therapy for Everybody, where we talk about real-life emotional wellness in a way that's grounded, compassionate, and totally human. Today's topic is for the feelers, for the deep processors, for anyone who's ever been told you're too sensitive, too dramatic, or you're too much. Let's talk about emotional intensity and why that's not a flaw. In fact, it can be one of your biggest strengths you didn't even know you had. Why this topic matters. I can't tell you how many clients have come into my therapy office saying some version of, I cry too easily, I'm walking on eggshells, I get too overwhelmed, I think I feel things more than other people, and it's exhausting. And almost every time I say, yeah, that's not a problem, that's just information. Feeling things deeply isn't the issue. The issue is how you've been taught to interpret and judge those feelings, often through the lens of shame. So let's break this down and talk about the truth about emotional intensity. People who are emotionally intense tend to have a strong capacity for empathy. They often pick up on subtleties in tone, energy, or environment. They feel deeply joy, but also pain and grief and love. And sometimes they react too quickly when they get overwhelmed. This can absolutely feel like a lot, especially in a culture that values stoicism, speed, and getting over it fast. But neuroscience shows that your emotional depth is connected and engaged to your nervous system. It's not broken, it's alert, it's attuned, and it's wired to process more data. That's not too much, that's powerful, and it just needs support. So let's talk about what to do. Reframing the narrative. So here's a simple shift I invite clients to try. Instead of saying, I'm too sensitive, try saying, I'm highly attuned. Instead of I overreact, try I respond strongly to things that don't always matter. And perhaps instead of I need to toughen up, you can try I'm learning how to regulate my emotions without suppressing them. We're not trying to turn off the volume. We're learning to ride the wave of your emotions without getting swept under. I remember once, during my early years as a social worker, I was in a team meeting after a particularly hard home visit. There was a young mother who was working and she had lost her housing. The system had failed her in every possible way. I had gotten emotional. My eyes welled up, my voice caught. I wasn't sobbing, but I felt it. Later, someone had said to me, you gotta toughen up or this job will eat you alive. You can't put your emotions into this job. And for a long time, I really believed them. But now, years later, as a therapist, I see that moment totally differently. I wasn't weak. I was present in that moment. I was connected to the humanity in front of me, and the emotional response was rooted in my compassion and care, not in dysfunction. And what's wild is the same qualities that make me effective in the therapy room today, that sensitivity that was once too much, is the very thing that allows me to hold space for others now, without judgment and without rushing. So let's talk about the steps, what to do. So let's talk about step 1. Regulate first, reflect second. So when you're flooded emotionally, the brain's rational center, your prefrontal cortex, goes offline. That's totally normal. So before we analyze or judge the feeling, we need to regulate. So use grounding. Put your feet on the floor, squeeze your toes. Like my auntie Shelley used to say, feel your feet and breathe into your whole body, your whole belly. Use imagery like the waves passing by, watching the clouds in the sky, or light moving through the blinds. Use imagery. Or you can try using a mantra, like this is just a wave, I can ride it, I can learn to surf. So once you're back online and you've grounded yourself, let's ask ourselves, what was the trigger? What am I afraid of? And what value of mine is being touched right now? Once you do that exploring and you get honest with yourself, you can move on to step 2. You make room for the big feelings. So emotional intensity becomes overwhelming when we resist it. But what happens if you make space for it? Try this. Journal without filtering. What am I feeling right now? Try it. See what happens. Try using creative expression. Draw it, paint it, voice memo it. Try name it to tame it. I have a separate video for that, where you can try something like, this is grief, this is longing, this is joy that I don't know how to hold. Naming and taming can be a helpful strategy as well. You're not wrong for feeling deeply. You're just learning how to hold it more safely. Step 3 is owning your power. Here's the thing, intensity is just energy. Once you learn how to regulate it, it becomes passion and insight, it becomes clear communication, it becomes boundaries to protect you, and love that is full and real. The world doesn't need you to be smaller, it needs you to be supported. In closing, if you've ever been told that you're too much, here's what I want you to hear today. You are not too much. Let that sink in. You haven't always had the tools or the safety to always fully be yourself. And that's what we're doing here today. This is therapy for everybody, a place where your depth, your heart, and your healing are all welcome. Thank you. See you next time.